Hi, everybody. Welcome along to episode 50 of Percussion Discussion. That's right, 50. Quite a milestone for us. When I started these, I had no thoughts of going maybe further than 4 or 5 episodes, but we're here at 50, and I'm glad you're here with us. So this is great. Before we get into the interview, please check out our social media. You can find us all the usual formats: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course, our YouTube channel. Please subscribe if you can, or if you haven't already done so, you won't miss any of the great conversations that we've already had, or any of the ones that we've got coming up. And if you would rather listen on the go, you can find all our conversations in podcast form on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. If you look for Percussion Discussion, North Wales Drum Promotions, you will find us. On to today's guest, our 50th guest. I'm so grateful to this guy for doing it. One of the biggest personalities in the whole of music. Forget drums, the whole of music. The guy is fun. He's an incredible musician, a drummer that can play in any style, but play in any style 100% authentically. He's an incredible musician. The first time I saw him play was with David Lee Roth in, I think it was 1985 or 1986. I've been a fan ever since. We have a great conversation. It gives me huge pleasure to welcome the wonderful Mr. Gregg Bissonette.
Hey, thank you, Matty. Hello, Matty on the other side of the pond. I sound like Dick Van Dyke when I do an English accent. It's a lovely holiday with Mary.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. Really good, really good. How are you?
I'm very well. And you know what? I'm thrilled you're doing this. You are the 50th guest of the series. So you've kind of, I'm
so glad that our pal, Simon Kirk, one of my drumming heroes. All right now. Can you hear me when I play, or is it cutting out?
No, it's okay. I can hear it nice and clear.
I asked him, how come he played quarter notes? I love the quarter notes so much. And that really drives it. He goes, my hand was getting tired from all the tunes.
Simple as that. He's a great guy. He's been so helpful with me. So if you're watching, Simon, thank you for doing this.
Hey, Simon. Love you, buddy.
You're a gentleman. You really are. Do you know?
Can I tell my Simon Kirk story real quick? In the 6th grade.
Do it.
I was in the 6th grade and I hated math. And our teacher in the 6th grade, she said, if someone wants to bring in a radio, you can listen to your favorite music while you do your long division and, fractions and multiplication and all the stuff I didn't like. So anyway, I said, I got a radio. I brought in my red. You plug it in. This is like 70 or something. And I plug it in. I'm not sure on the date, but we're all doing our boring math, and all of a sudden, comes on the radio, and I'm going, you got to be kidding me. What a song this is. I've never heard this song before. And that was Simon with Free, All Right Now. And I told him that the other day. I said, man, I still get goosebumps when I think of that, Matty.
It's amazing, isn't it? The space he leaves. It's that band. It's that whole band. Magic. What more do you need? What more do you need than that?
All you need is that.
Yeah. This is good. So, hey, look, it's great to see you. And as I say, you're the big 50th guest. So I've been waiting for this.
And now, Matty, we're about to do our 50th. Does all that really come through, or is it distorting?
It's loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Yeah. We're on Zoom. A lot of times it squelches out. Anyway.
You must have your settings right at your end. I've got them at mine, so it's good.
Working on the settings, mate. All right. Sorry, I keep trying to do a bad English accent.
You know what? Mine's probably not the easiest to copy because mine's I've got a bit of a Welsh accent as well. So
like Tom Jones.
Not quite.
It's not unusual to be. Can you tell I've had a lot of coffee, Matty?
Yeah, of course I can.
I gotta have coffee. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke. I don't drink, but I do a lot of coffee.
You gotta have one vice, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Look, there's so much to talk about with you. I mean, one of the most musical drummers in existence, and it's great to have you here. And where do we start? I mean, it's well documented, your beginnings. You've come from a very talented musical family, haven't you? Let's be honest.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, here's a picture of my dad and I years ago, jamming. There's Bud Bissonette.
Oh, that's cool.
And this is my dad behind Gene Krupa and I, and my grandma. My mom was a jazz vibes player in my dad's band in Detroit. So, you know, and my brother's my favorite bass player. He gets to play for the last 10 years with Sir Elton John. And since 2003 and then 2008 in the All Star band, I've been with Sir Richard Starkey. So we're pretty darn blessed. And my sister's super involved in the music industry and everything. So anywho, you know, my kids both play great drums and sing. And my nephews, they both play. And anyway, my sister-in-law, we're all really musical. Sorry. I'll tend to run on forever if you don't stop me. Just go like this when I talk to you.
Hey, I love enthusiasm, Greg. I'm not going to stop it. But isn't it, you know, great to be involved in such a musical family? I mean, there's a bit of luck involved there as well, because you imagine...
It's a bit of luck. A bit of luck. There's a bit of luck there, Maddie. I want to be able to talk like that. A bit of luck. A bit of luck. Anyway, there is a bit of luck. I look at it not so much as luck, but just like I'm super thankful and grateful. I feel like, you know, luck is... Luck of the Irish, you know, we've got some Irish in us. My grandmother was Evelyn McNerney, and my mother was a Belding, and then it went back from Belding to White, and there was a Churchill in there somewhere, Eliza Ann Churchill. But I'm not trying to, you know, what do the kids call it? I'm not trying to flex on you here, but there was a Churchill somewhere in there. But anyway, it's a bit to look, and I think I'm very blessed by the good Lord. I can't thank God enough for all the blessings.
Yeah. I mean, when
I'm talking too much.
When I say look, I'm not talking about the career you've had. I mean, look as in being born into such a musical family. Imagine, you know.
Look, being born into the musical family. I'm with you, Maddie. I'm following you. I'm there.
Well, you know,
the thing is, you can't offend me, so don't think you're ever going to. Like I tell people at drum clinics or on sessions, tell me what to do, man. Tell me what to play. I've got a session later today, and I told the guy, hey, just give me ideas, give me pointers. Say, I don't like that fill. I like this fill. You should be on the belly, your cymbal here. And you're not going to offend me. So
that's cool. Well, you know about my accent. I'm actually not far away from where your current employer, Mr. Starkey, was from. I'm looking out over Liverpool at the moment, over the bay, so I'm not too far from Liverpool. So there we are.
Wales?
Yeah, on the coast of North Wales looks over Liverpool. So it's kind of, I'm as the crow flies, I'm about 15 or 20 miles away from Liverpool. So
wow.
There you go.
So much magic in that town, man.
Yeah, just a little. But
Ringo's just the coolest, man. He's the most awesome friend and drum hero. He's my favorite song drummer ever. And, you know, I just wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing if it weren't for having a hero like Ringo and to be playing music side by side with him for so long. What an honor, man.
That's hard to grasp the enormity of that, isn't it?
I'm looking at this photo here of a pal of mine, Rob Shanahan, took. This was the show we did with Ringo for his 70th, right?
Oh, right, okay.
The Paul, and I'm in the background. We just finished playing "Bada Bada Bada." Today is your birthday for his 70th birthday, and it's surreal, Maddie. It's absolutely surreal. I'm looking at Ringo 5 feet away, and I'm looking out front, and there's Paul, and the two of them. I just start crying, man. Tears of joy, you know. But every night getting to play double drums with Ringo, I want a clear shot at what his bass drums do in his foot, in his left hand, because I just don't want to flam with Ringo. I want to be on, let him, let him get into his pocket and his groove. So you're a drummer too, obviously.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Cymbals in your drum heads behind you.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Me? Oh gosh.
Enough about me. Tell me about you.
Well, I'm a very average...
Okay, so when I was a poor child in the foot... Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Sorry. Tell me about you, Maddie.
I'm a very average drummer.
When I was 6 years old, I got into... No.
I knew this was going to be fun.
Go ahead.
No, hey, Greg, look, we've got a short amount of time. They don't want to hear about me.
How about 30 seconds? Go.
I'm a very average drummer, and I prefer to talk drums with real drummers like yourself than inflicting my my groove on other folks. So there you go. That's it, really.
That's it. That's it. 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, you're a very humble guy. I'm sure you're a great player.
Wow. So I don't know. We'll see. Hey, look, so you're sitting alongside one of the most influential drummers that's ever been forever. That's it. And that's your gig. That's amazing. What's the approach for doing double drums? I mean, is there much rehearsal involved in that, or is it?
No, it's all knowing that from my end, it's all knowing that this is the guy right next to me that got me into wanting to play in a band and still has me excited about playing in a band, especially his band, the Ringo Starr and the All Star band. And I'm just watching him like a hawk. And if he's going for a fill, the last thing I'm going to do is take my hand off my hi-hat, man, and play. I just want to groove and let him, if he wants to fill. If there's something where a fill could be, and I can see, because he leads with his left, I got a great view of him here. If he's going to do a fill, I'll just keep grooving. And then if he's not going to do a fill, and I think it'd be a great place that we would want to fill, I'll do a fill. But my neck is often, in a good way, sore from going like this.
Yeah.
Whenever I play, a song with Ringo, number one, I'm watching his kick drum and his snare drum and just making sure that, I'm with him, that we're not flamming. And I let him lead the way and just do his thing. And if he's going to go for a fill, I'll just, he's Ringo. People didn't come there to see me. They came there to see Ringo. So sure. I'm just happy to be there as the other drummer because, he goes out front and sings Yellow Submarine, so many of his songs, Photograph, just probably a third of the show at least. So
sure.
He needs a guy back there playing while he's up front singing.
Yeah. So you get plenty of chance to do your own thing on your own anyway, with as on your own.
Yeah, what's also something is in the middle of the show, we do an instrumental. Well, we're not an instrumental. The current band is Gregg Raleigh from Santana and Journey, and he does. And then Steve Lukather from Toto, Colin Hay from Men at Work, Hamish Stewart from the Average White Band, Warren Ham from Toto, Kansas, a million bands. Toto in Kansas. He gets to say, Toto, we're not in Kansas anymore. He plays sax and sings great and plays percussion and is an amazing high singer. And who am I leaving out? Colin, Hamish Lukather, Gregg Raleigh, Warren Ham, and Ringo and I. And so in the middle of the show, Gregg Raleigh does Black Magic Woman, and Ringo just takes a break, and there's a big old drum solo in there, the pow, 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 with the timbales and just going nuts. So there's a lot of chance to go crazy on that kind of stuff, but it's the most fun gig I've ever done in my life. And like I say, looking 5-6 feet over, here's my drum hero and my great friend.
Insane.
So what a blast.
Hey, a great gig to have. But you've done so much. So much stuff, and I don't write questions. I write a few bullet points down. And the first time I heard you play, probably like a lot of people, was David Lee Roth, who I was and still am a massive Van Halen, David Lee Roth fan. How was that? Because you were a young guy then. You're still a young guy, but you were a young guy.
You're still a young guy, man. Ooh, don't waste your. What band is that? David Garibaldi.
Was it Tower of Power?
Tower of Power. You're still a young man. I just changed keys. Well, when I was 22, I got the gig of my dreams. Back then, I was a huge, and still am, Maynard Ferguson fan, the great trumpet player. And I'm a minor trumpet player. So my brother and I both got the gig with Maynard. And then Gino Vanelli. And then right before David Lee Roth, Gino Vanelli. But then I get the gig with David Lee Roth when I'm 26 in 1985. And that lasted 7 years. From 85 to 92, and it was so much fun. I just posted on Instagram a drum solo because Dave said, hey man, why don't you do something really entertaining? Have you ever played a solo standing on your drums? I said, how would I do that? And he coached me how to, make the bass drums longer, bolt down the seat, get up there and gyrate around and twirl your sticks and have a drum machine. I said, how am I going to play if I'm standing on my drums? I can't play my feet. He goes, why don't you then stand up and go, pop, and then Andre McDougall, your drum tech, can hit the button, kind of a shy boy beat, and you can just jump up on your drums and solo. And every night we did it on the Eat 'em and Smile tour, Billy Sheehan, Steve, Brett Tuggle, Dave, and I. And every night he'd call it the exterior drum solo performed without a net. And it was so much fun, Matty. So much fun.
That band was amazing, wasn't it? So much talent. It's ridiculous.
It was such a great, great time. And then when Billy Sheehan left, my brother Matt played bass. And then when Steve Vai left, the great Jason Becker played for a while. But then he was diagnosed with ALS. So since he was 19, way back then in the early 90s, he's been pretty much paralyzed. And all he can move is his eyes, Jason Becker. He moves his eyes and spells out words like you would on a phone, A, B, C, D, E, F, and communicates with his father, Gary, and writes music. And it's just such a, every day I think about Jason, like, how is he doing this, man?
I know.
And then Joe Holmes took Jason's place on tour. So I was there 85 to 92. What a blast.
It's a great gig. I mean, you mentioned some great guitar names there. There's something about you that really appeals to guitar gods. You seem to have done so many guitar albums. What is it? What is it that is it the musicality, the space?
Well,
what is it?
How about this for an answer? All you need is one to get started, right? And that one was pretty good, Steve Vai. So I did this audition for David Lee Roth. My great friend Myron Grombacher from Pat Benatar's band, he goes, wow, you play with Maynard Ferguson. I said, but my favorite kind of music is the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, old Van Halen. He goes, we're going to get you a rock gig. He recommends me to audition with Vinnie Vincent, who used to be in Kiss. He was starting his own band, the Vinnie Vincent Invasion. And I went to the audition, and he goes, I've already picked a drummer. I feel bad. I wanted to have you come down because you're a great friend of Myron's, and I love Myron. I already picked this guy from Texas, Bobby Rock, to be in my band. But you'd be good for Dave Roth. And I said, Dave Roth? Who's that? He goes, David Lee Roth. I said, David Lee Roth is in Van Halen. What are you talking about? He goes, no, he just left. And he hired Billy Sheehan to play bass, and they got Steve Vai to play guitar, and they're looking for a drummer. So I walk into this big cattle call audition, and Steve's singing these parts. Like, first they said, play a drum solo. And I love Hot for Teacher, so I did some of that to start off. Teacher, that's so great. We'll probably play that in the show. Play some more stuff. So I played this drum solo, all these different styles, and Billy and Steve were so cool. It was just the three of us in this room in Hollyweird down on Sunset Boulevard, SIR, Studio Instrument Rentals. So Steve starts doing all this stuff from this album, not this album, Skyscraper, this album.
Yeah.
It's a song called Hot Dog in a Shake. Then the solo, bop, 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 bop. So I take out a Sharpie and I start writing that out. Bop, rest, bop, bop, 2, 3. He goes, wow, man, you can transcribe stuff? I said, yeah. He goes, where'd you go to school? I said, North Texas State in Denton, Texas. I'm from Detroit originally. He goes, I'm from New York, but I went to Berkeley. I said, I know you did. I saw you with Zappa. I saw you play the Club Lingerie 2 weeks ago with your band. And so he goes, man, I love that. That's going to help me out with, songs and arrangements and stuff. So Billy and Steve both gave me the thumbs up, and the next day was auditioning for Dave, and I got the gig, and what a blast. But anyway, after Steve Vai, great guys like Joe Satriani and Steve Lukather and Richie Compton. I got my album here. Mike Landau, Doug Bossy, Gary Hoey, Steve Stevens, Tim Pierce, Frank Cavalli, Robin Ford. I love guitar. And my brother, Matt's my favorite bass player. We decided to do an album called Submarine.
Yes, I know
it. We
it.
had all the guitar players on it. I just love guitar trio, guitar, bass, and drum trio.
But whatever you do.
We did another album called Warning Will Robinson, where we had George Bernhardt and Doug Bossy, the two guys that were in our band called the Mustard Seeds. And my brother let me sing all the songs. He writes all the songs, plays bass, produces it. But the album Warning Will Robinson, he let me sing everything. So a lot of drum solos and pretty cool songs in different styles that you might want to.
That track is a great track. The actual title track is a really nice song, isn't it?
The Warning Will Robinson?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Great song.
So much fun. My brother's my musical hero.
Yeah, that's tell you what, great compliment. And look, I know you're a bit short on time, so I'm just going to go through a few things, if that's all right, Greg, because I don't want you to be.
I got 22 minutes. Let's rock.
Right,
Sorry, I had another appointment. I feel bad.
It's fine. Don't worry. Let's set the timer. Let's go. I'd like to know, you filled in for Simon Phillips with Toto. And how, I mean, it's a hell of a gig to step into, isn't it? Did you have much notice for that?
No, not much notice at all, because Simon hurt his back pretty bad and he couldn't do the tour. And Simon took over when the great late Jeff Porcaro passed away. And Jeff was a great friend of mine. Simon is a great friend of mine. Nobody can play like Jeff. Nobody can play like Simon. But on short notice, I really tried to do my best at, both of those guys, man. And every night there was a big, huge banner, big screen of Jeff. And there's another one of my best pals ever that passed away from ALS when Jason has Lou Gehrig's disease, Mike Porcaro, staring at me playing like this, and he looks just like Jeff. So it was a goosebumps. But Steve Lukather recommended me for that because we've been great pals for years. And then I got to return the favor and recommend him to be in Ringo in the All Star Band. And Ringo loves him. He's been in Lukather's been in the All Star Band now, Luke as we call him, since 2012. So what a great band we have there too.
Did you know a lot of the repertoire, or did you have to get busy with the pen transcribing for that one?
Any drummer should be hung from their thumbs if they don't know this one. Not quite a hit since you went away. I played this on so many gigs. Rosanna, and then if you don't know that song, drummers, learn it. And if you don't know the song one of the songs that inspired that, Eddie, what song is that?
Fool in the Rain?
Boom, your fellow countryman, John Henry Bonham from Birmingham in the bog. Anyway, yeah, man, that song definitely had a big influence on Jeff. So I knew Rosanna. I knew Africa. I played that a lot in bands. That's a fill that Jeff did on the Live in Paris album. And when you play France, and I'm not saying this because I'm part frog, but the French audiences go ballistic more than anywhere in the world. I found with every band I've played. And they know their music. And when Jeff played that film, that's on that Live in Paris album.
Yeah.
You play that at the Bercy in Paris, and the crowd just goes, Wah! They know. They're Jeff Porcaro drum fills.
Yeah.
So I knew that. I knew Rosanna, Africa. Every drummer knows Hold the Line with the cool Jeff bass drums. What a cool. I mean, you don't want to overdo that.
No, of course.
He does it at the end. But I didn't know a lot of the new album that Simon had recorded, Tamboo.
Yeah, it's a great album.
Simon's got this, as you would say in the UK, this massive kit, mate, with all these octobans and gong bass drums. So I've got my single bass drum with a double pedal, and 10, 12, 14, 18, I think. And maybe I had a double bass kit. I think I had a single bass. Yeah, single bass. So Simon, he's on a couch going, Gregg, there's one thing, mate, on that one song. I can't do Simon Phillips. He's very proper English.
Yes, he is.
Gentleman. On that one song, Gregg, there's a bit where with my left hand, I'm playing, octavos. And I said, well, Simon, I got a day to learn all these songs. I don't have octavons. I don't have gong bass drum. I'm just going to do my own version. And he goes, fair enough, mate.
Because there's a song, there's a great song on Tamboo, and is it called I Will Remember Them or We Will Remember Them?
That's the one I'm talking about.
Oh, that's the one with the...
I will remember. And I go, I don't have that many drums. And that song is way too hard to learn for a tour that starts tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thanks for the advice. I love you, Simon. Catch you on the flip side. Hang out on the couch and I'm going to work this up.
It's a hell of a song, isn't it?
Luke sings great on that song.
Yeah.
And that's the first song we did. We get off the plane. We're in Frankfurt. We go to a TV show. And we mime that song for this big German TV show. And I got like a 4-piece kit. And I'm just going, yeah. And Mike Ricardo's going, don't worry about it. The Germans have a sense of humor. They'll love it. Anyway.
But I had to get that in. You know, you don't just dep in last minute for Toto, do you? Well, you do. You've got to be a certain...
Well, what I do is I write charts.
Yeah.
I go a little overboard with my charts, right? I do like big time charts, right? For everything I do. But then I condense them and I put them down here. My drum tech with Ringo's drum tech, our drum tech, Jeff Jonas, who's the guy that's coming over here in 15 minutes.
Sure.
He designed this cool, like a black wooden music stand that goes right where your Steve Gadd cowbell would go.
Yeah.
So he put it right there with a little light on it, and I could look at these little file cards and see all those notes and flip the file cards because I hate making mistakes. So I wrote out the whole Toto show, and you know, I don't read like this, but I'm playing, I'm looking at the guys, I'm looking at the audience, maybe an occasional stick twirl, but I'm looking down at the, I don't really twirl my sticks. I'm looking down at the music and trying to just remember what's coming up next.
Yeah, it's a good safety blanket. Yeah.
Say that again?
It's a good safety blanket to have, isn't it? It's there, you know?
I just don't like making mistakes. Yeah. And I do. In fact, I made a mistake once in the late 60s. But actually, it was a mistake. It wasn't really a mistake. So I haven't made a mistake yet, but I don't want to.
No, absolutely.
I make a lot of mistakes. Sorry. I'm cutting you off, Maddie.
It's fine. I'm just trying to get through it because, you know, I want to get there's so much to talk about. Now, my wife is...
let's do a thing. I got an idea.
Go on.
To get through every question, just for fun. Give me a question, I'll give you a one-word answer. Give me a question, one-word. Let's go. This will be a fun thing. Ready, go.
I don't know what to ask now because I don't
What's
have...
your next question?
Well, I was going to say Friends was going to be my next thing.
Friends, 10 years, NBC. Next question.
Oh.
No, I'll just try to do shorter. Yeah. So I Don Perry, a great friend of mine. I can't do short things.
But hey, Greg, before you do, I have to say this because there's a reason for me asking. Now, my wife is very hard to impress, and a little before coming in, she said, "So who are you talking to tonight?" And I said, "Oh, it's Gregg Bissonette. Never heard of him." I said, "Right, okay, that's fine. The same as anyone else. Who's he played for?" "Well, Ringo Starr." Was the answer I got. Anybody else? I said,
well, why did she do that?
She just, I don't know. She's not impressed by anything. David Lee Roth.
She started this, but she's hard to impress. Okay.
Yeah, David Lee Roth. And I said, he played all the incidental music on Friends. Now that's impressive because she has.
Oh my gosh!
Out of everything, she can sing every one of those stings you've played on. Which
I'll be there for you. I didn't play on that.
No,
that was the Rembrandt.
Yeah.
So let me tell you how this went down. Don Perry, one of my best friends, and I'll try to be brief, as you say. He plays with Jethro Tull. He was supposed to do a session with this guy, a Broadway piano player, Michael Skloff. He says, I can't do it. Could you do it? I said, yeah, I go and do it. Michael and I really hit it off. We've become great friends over this afternoon session. He goes, you know, my wife is creating a TV show. I like jamming with you. If she gets this show, you're going to be the drummer. And I like your brother's bass playing. He'll be the bass player. That was his wife, Marta Kaufman, and she created Friends. And that was 10 years. And that's the gig that keeps on giving because it's in syndication. So it royalties every year. Woo!
Awesome. Did you have any idea how massive that was going to be when you was holed up in a studio doing that?
I don't think anybody did. And the fact that it went for 10 years and was such a fun time. What a blast.
So all these little stings, did you just record them separately? You weren't anywhere...
No, it was my brother on bass. I was in a drum room, my brother at Michael's studio in Beverly Hills, right? So drums are there in a glass fishbowl kind of a room. My brother's out there direct and with an amp too, playing bass. Rocket Rashat, one of my favorite guitar players. He's also in a Beatle tribute band that I used to be in called The Lads with my brother and Brett Tuggle, David Lee Roth and Fleetwood Mac keyboard player. And then James Hara, Madonna's guitar player, also playing guitar. And then Michael Skloff, the composer, playing piano, keyboards. And Giorgio, our buddy, engineering. So he'd say, okay, here's the song idea I had. And you can play your own beat, and you can play your own fill. And if we all felt like it was a pretty good take, we'd look at each other and we'd go, touchdown! And if everybody had their hands up, we'd go, okay, next cue. That's how it went down.
And did you record?
10 years.
Did you record thousands of these then? Were any repeated or were they?
I don't know how many, but we did a lot over 10
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, that's great fun. Fantastic. Well, look, I've got one more thing I'd like to mention, right? And
Wait a minute. So you only have one more question?
well,
I could have gone longer.
if we run out of time, or if we got plenty of time, I've got more things to ask.
You got 11 minutes for 11 questions. I'll be brief.
Cool. Well, no, we're all right then. We're good. And now the fact that you're sitting here talking to me is a good reason that the spinal tap curse doesn't exist anymore, right?
I remember my dad was my drum tech for 18 years, and my mom would bring the map, and she'd, make a left on Sunset, make a right on Vine. And they brought my drums to the Greek Theater. And my dad had seen the movie, so he walked up to Derek Smalls and said, Derek, I'm a little worried about my son, Gregg. I know the history of spinal tap, choking and dying on vomit that was somebody else's, bizarre gardening accidents, green globules. I'm pretty worried about my son. And Derek looked around, and he knew my dad's name, Bud. He goes, Bud, we've got the place secure. He's going to be okay. we played Live Earth 7707, and my pal Steve White. I said, I can't rehearse with Spinal Tap the day before. I'm doing an evening in Tuscany with Andrea Bocelli and with David Foster in Tuscany, Italy, and I can't. I'm doing that gig. I'm going to fly in on the red eye and get in at 10 a.m. in time to go from the Dorchester, with the guys to Wembley Stadium. I said, could you rehearse the day before? And Steve White said, yeah, man. So he did a great job. So that's why when you look on YouTube and type in Spinal Tap Big Bottom, you'll see my great pal Steve White up there playing floor tom, and my other great pal Paul Dinage, who's a great drummer in London and a great teacher. He let me use his double bass kit for that Live Earth. Big Bottom Live Earth was that song that's on YouTube. But we will both be together this August.
Yes, I know you will.
Doing the Freddie G drum camp for George Frederick.
Yes.
Our great pal.
Great lineup. Yeah.
Super fun. I love going over there.
Yeah, and Steve's a great guy as well, isn't he? So,
Sure is. He's a diamond geezer, mate. His brother lives south of the river. He taught me how to say that. I can't do it very well. Steve White said, just say, me brother lives south of the river, with a lot of F's.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
South of the river.
No,
I'm working at it, Matty.
He's a good guy. Well, look, there's an album, Back from the Dead, which I remember actually buying the Spinal Tap album. And it's a good album, isn't it? It's a great album, in fact.
I love that album. C.J. Vanston is the reason I'm with Spinal Tap. C.J. Vanston is the Spinal Tap musical director, producer, keyboard player, and he also does the music for Christopher Guest's movies. I've gotten to do Best in Show, The Mighty Wind, For Your Consideration, Waiting for Guffman. He does Harry Shearer's solo albums. Derek Smalls. The new one's called Smalls Change. But CJ is a musical genius, and he got me that gig all those years ago. Amazing. And that was a really fun album. The late, great pal of mine, Ed Cherney, the great pal of mine that recorded that album at the Village Recorders in Santa Monica. They even flew a Union Jack flag over the studio that week.
Fantastic. There's one song which shouldn't fit on there, and that's Sex Farm. You've got a bit of a Clyde Stubblefield thing going on, and it's just magnificent.
The thing is, the original Sex Farm is in the movie, the original movie with Rick Parnell playing drums, but they wanted to redo it, and they called it Funky Sex Farm.
Yes, yeah. Oh, it's so funny. Oh, it must have been a joy to do that. It really must.
It's hard. I like telling jokes, and I like kind of being kind of an A personality like yourself. We like to interview, ask questions, talk. It's hard to get a joke in edgewise with those guys. They're pretty quick.
Yeah. Look, I know you've got to go, Gregg, but thanks so much for doing this.
Let's go for another 5 minutes.
Are you sure?
I am absolutely sure.
Well, in that case, then.
When I say 45 minutes, plus I took 2 minutes out to call my friend.
That's all good. It's all good. So what's, obviously we've been in a very strange time for this last sort of 18 months. Have you managed to keep busy during that time?
What's been going on?
I don't know. Nothing's been going on. That's the problem.
Why? Is there anything wrong?
A bit of a cold going around or something. No, a little pandemic. But have you managed to keep busy?
Pandemic?
You haven't been out.
Are you kidding me? That's why when I go in the grocery store, they give me They all have masks on. No,
Is that
I'm
not,
sorry.
that
Don't
not
joke
true?
about the. Yeah, don't joke about the pandemic. It's
Yeah.
not a joke. No, but what I've been very blessed to be able to do is, for a couple years before COVID hit, I had my Ringo touring kit all mic'd up in a great studio in Sherman Oaks with a fantastic engineer named Frank Rosado. And if anybody ever wants me to play on any of their tracks, their files for albums, demos, TV shows, movies, whatever it is, all you have to do is send me an email, Gregg, Gregg, drums, drums, 2 at gmail.com. Gregg with 2 G's at the end. GreggDrums2 at gmail.com. And I'll get Frank to get in touch with them. Send Frank the files. I show up there. My drums are all mic'd. They sound great. We're zooming in the artist or the producer or the writer, and then they watch me chart out the chart, and then we flip the computer and they watch me play. They hear everything in real time. And this has been what's really saved me as far as, financially paying the mortgage and everything in the last 18 months or 14 months. Yeah.
So that's been like the daily routine then, just recording every day.
Well, not every day, but a lot.
A lot of days. And I guess, are you in your house at the moment? Is this like your drum room in the house so you can play?
This is a studio I have nearby.
Sure.
But the studio in Sherman Oaks is a really big time full on studio.
Sure.
With I got tired of trying to compete with trying to get the latest version of Pro Tools and the right mic and compressor. Frank is an engineer. He's one of the best in the world. I'm not an engineer. It's going to sound like crap if I engineer it. So I want to go to a place where it sounds great. A lot of my friends, I do it all myself. I've got all this gear. I go, ugh, sounds like a root canal. I'd rather have a root canal than do all that.
I suppose
and I need some. First, I got to brush on the Novocaine type of fluid, gel, and then they got to give me a shot and numb it, and then they got to give me nitrous and one of those blocks in my mouth so I can listen to Sgt. Pepper and go, okay, go for it. Root canals are horrible, but I'd rather do that than trying to engineer my own drums.
Well, I guess that way you're concentrating on what you should be doing. You're on playing drums.
Amen, as the preachers say.
Yeah.
Can I get an amen?
Amen. How's that?
I'm not an engineer, man. I want to play the drums.
Yeah. That's what you do. You do it well. And hey, the proof of the pudding is in that CV, isn't it? You know what I mean? So
thank you. You're a great guy, man. I wish we were able to. You should come down to the Freddie G camp. I know it's a long drive from northern Wales, southern Liverpool, but you should come down and hang out because there's some great people there, and you would have a blast. It's right there in Winchester. Yes. Winchester Cathedral.
I guess
anyway,
6 hours for me, that I think, something like that, I guess.
Nothing. You can listen to Tower of Power the whole way.
Look, Gregg, thank you so much. Big 50th guest. Appreciate your time. It's been a blast.
Can I play us out with a drum beat?
Please do.
Pick one.
All right. Okay. I was going to say 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover, but I don't know. Is that...
I love Steve Gadd, one of my best pals. What a hero.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't? Gregg, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Maddie. I hope to see you soon. Come down to the Freddie G Academy, Winchester, first week of August.
Top man.
How about that for a plug? See you soon.
See you soon. Take care.